leadership. And there were a bigger gathering, but still it was. But these are I want to remind you of what we have said. So we talked about position and how people, first of all, they depend on their position as Sunday school teachers or leaders in any ways, and how we took an example of Saul and how he left his position mentally, although he wanted to have the chair, but he actually didn't do the work there because of two reasons: that he didn't have a vision, and second, he didn't keep the Spirit of God in him. So the Spirit of God left him because of his direction. So this is one important thing that we need to see, that here we need two things: Spirit of God, and we have the vision to keep on. But still, we need as well, for a leader, that we need to jump another step forward, to have the permissive attitude. And to have the permissive attitude here, we need to say, like, every person who is in a leading position, as we agreed from the beginning that every Christian actually is a leader, because you are the salt of the earth, you are the light of the world. And if you are the light and if you are the salt of the earth, then you need to have an effect on people. You have to have an influence on people. You have to have something that people will respect you for, and to have something that people would look up to you. But they would not be looking up to you if you don't have this ability to communicate. I know that there are some characters in people. People, sometimes they are introvert or sometimes they are extrovert. But still, every person has the ability to communicate. And the cleverness here of a leader is how to communicate the knowledge that he has or she has to the others. It's not in an attitude of, I am the boss and you are the ups and the downs. You know, in life we have lots of ups and downs. Lots of people are up and lots of people are down. And if you look in a society, imagine who in your way of thinking would be one on top and some others will be on down. Imagine, for example. Just share with me if you want. Rich and poor?
Rich and poor. Economic is always among the first that comes to mind, right? Economic.
Rich and poor?
Yeah, rich and poor.
Prestige.
Education? Well-educated, non-educated?
Free and I guess freedom could mean a lot of things, and bound and free. Bound and free.
Exactly.
Bound and free.
And maybe also we could just go a little bit deeper in a society and see, like, for example, in a situation, I could be now standing on top and you're listening, you're students, a teacher and a student,
Yes.
a doctor and a patient, a father and children. Sometimes we carry power on people, or sometimes even when you are going to do the smallest thing in life, you will find someone who is standing on a desk and just playing this role that I'm up. And then how are we as leaders are conveying the power that we have with others? And that will determine a lot about this step. So the skills of communication, the skills of carrying the energy of equality inside you, the concept of equality inside you, will determine how you are doing it. And that's an important thing in life, because you will never have the permissive attitude unless you understand this equality thing. It's very simple. Most of us, we sometimes, because of where we stand, we always wanted to look at people from where we stand. And we frame people. Most of us are framing people. And I give you an example. All of us will have, like, I need someone, just for, I don't know this person, any person. The first thing you meet, it's a person, you start to make a frame for a person. And this frame, it is your own creation. So the first thing that you're asking for to know about this person is your interest, is the priority in your life. For example, some people will ask about where they live. Maybe they want to know where actually they live. Are they living in a fancy quarter or less fancy? What's your work? Do you want to know whether they are working as lawyers or doctors or pharmacists or dentists, or they are working like in a gas station, or what's your point of interest first? Then you start to frame the person. And once you start to frame the person, you start to ask about their economical situation, not bluntly, but most of the time we are fishing around till we get to know the person. And you start to know about their social situation, and you start to know about their political or religions or philosophical attitude in life. But most of all, frame after frame after frame, you will find yourself, you're talking to the person from a big frame that you created yourself. And it's a very small, narrow opening that you see the person. And then, when you start to do that, you start to decide inside you, am I going to open up for this person, or I am going to close down for this person? So a leader here, most of the time, they would do that without knowing. And sometimes they will just have this thing with them. So I tell you a story that happened to me. I'm just confessing, this has happened to me. I was in Egypt, and I was very tired. And then I was getting out of a church, and I had a lot of problems at that time. And my mind was not there. I was thinking of this problem. And I needed to solve it. And I didn't know how. And it was just like too much for me. And the same moment I just finished the mass, and I'm coming out, I'm tired, and I've been just in this situation, worried, no solution. And then someone came to me and said, Sayedna, I have something, I need you. And because he gave me the impression that it's very serious, and I said, so what's the point here? He said, I have a problem. And I said, although another problem for me. And I felt inside me, I'm talking to myself, and I said, another problem added on top of this, then I break, I can't. But then I looked at him and said, okay, I will, okay, so I maybe later I talk to you. And he said, no, now. And because I have a problem, I said that the only one can solve the problem is you. And I said, again, more expectation on me. Okay, so, and I looked at him and I said, so what would you like me to do for you? And then he said, because it's an economical problem. And I said, oh, come on. You know, they wanted to have money as well. So, and I can't, I'm broken. I have a big financial problem at that time. And I'm looking at myself, and I'm saying this in the subconscious, I'm saying to myself, but I looked at him in another way. And I said to him, okay, and because what is your financial problem? He said, but because it is a financial problem, I decided something that only you can do it. And I said, okay, now you're asking for money. I'm talking to myself. Now you're asking for money. And then again, he said, but I decided something. Because it's a financial problem, I said to myself, I will give everything I have to God, to you, so God will solve this problem. So I have some money for you.
Reversed everything.
So then I looked at myself and I just like looked down and I said, thank you. Then I found myself looking at him. Oh yes, how are you? This is sometimes it's a big mistake of a leader. You can't do that because then you don't have a permissive attitude. I'm saying if I did it myself, then I feel like it's wrong. It's not right, and I should not have done that. But still, it's a training for you that you need to train yourself with whatever circumstances you are in, and you need to look at yourself like you need to have this permissive attitude of communicating your inner person. Your inner person. This is an important thing that people would love you more if you are real to them. Most of the time, because we are able to put a frame, we are able only to look at people from the narrow perspective of the frame. The second thing, that you are not able as well to communicate yourself with them. You're not real to them. You're always like this beautiful frame that you wanted to put for yourself. Then you're not a human being. You're not real. You're not falling in mistakes. Come on, we are all doing it. I did that and you do that. And we are not just feeling tired. We do. We're not exhausted. We lose hope. We lose feelings. We lose. Come on. The people around you, your group, the people that you lead, they need to feel that you are a real person. You are not only a robot. You're not just without feeling. They need to feel your feelings, and that's what is what happens actually with people who are standing up in this permissive place, but still they are not able to communicate with this. And because of the frame, it made us feel like this is a possible thing that we do. We take an example here. One of the beautiful examples, most of the time leaders, they are fighting together, especially because of this permissive attitude. Just in this point. Because some people will say like, we do that, and some others, they will say, we are not allowed to do that. And then always there is a fight between the group that they are carrying conservative attitude and some other people that they are carrying a liberal attitude. How much they could be open, how much they could be permissive. And some people, they wanted this frame to be very strong, and some other people, they wanted the frame not to be strong, or just lose it. And here we have a conflict. And the conflict that the leaders should start to solve, it depends as well how much themselves they are believing in it. So I will give you on the side here this diagram. If this tension of conservatism and liberalism is in two different directions. Definitely, if the tension would continue to be like this, then something has to be broken. It will break anywhere. It could break here, or it break here, or break here. It doesn't, wherever. But something has to be broken if it continues like this. So what's the solution? If it continues, and then the stronger will win. And do you think, imagine if the stronger will win, there will be a group of people will be defeated. Definitely. If a group is stronger and the other group is weaker, whatever the group, whether they are the liberals or the conservative, some of them will be broken, and some of them will be defeated, and some of them definitely will drop out. But the body of Christ is not like the outside world, because the outside world in a war, but always in a fight, some people will drop out. It doesn't matter. They go wherever they want. But the body of Christ is different. We are not like that. Every member, every person is valuable. And that means that we need to find a solution for this kind of thing. Then this has to be intact. But still the tension there. So now we'll give you a little bit of idea. It's another dimension here. How the people of God should work. It's the other one is openness and rigidity, because everything has to go to the two different directions. See, the first group here would be formed of what? A group that they have roots, conservative, but in the other side there is openness. You see the direction here. When if you gather both of them like this, then you have a direction that's growing. This is a group. It's like a good tree. And the tree will have good roots, and the roots will be strong, and then the branches will be strong. So imagine here with me a beautiful tree with strong roots, and then they have branches. If an owl will come and shelter in these branches, does it affect the tree? Or maybe a snake will come and climb over there. Does it really affect the tree? If a sparrow will come there, if a beautiful dog would come there. So it doesn't actually matter as long as the tree keeps its roots, so the branches are good, and as long as the tree would not shut down. So this is an important point, that the people of God, all leaders of God, they have to, it's an important thing, they have to keep the good roots and at the same time keep the good branches, because we have to reach out for the whole world, not only a small group. The love of God was given and declared to the whole world, and that means that every Christian should have the good roots of Christianity and at the same time very open. Take an example from the Bible. I always wanted to have the theory, but also have an example from the Bible. The Bible here, take the example of the meeting of Jesus with the Samaritan woman. Let's see where is the roots here that Jesus had. Jesus was clear in his talk with her that the salvation is from the Jews, that the Messiah is here, the spirituality. But at the same time, if he would have taken the side of the Pharisees, of conservatives, first of all, he should not talk to a Samaritan. He should not have spoken to a woman. He should not talking even just go there. This is a place that he shouldn't have gone there. And this is what we need to learn. And imagine Jesus is talking to her in a very open way, in a very nice, but he never forgot. Never forgot what? That he is the Messiah. And he wanted to bring her to a knowledge, communicating himself with her. And this is what every leader should do. Communicate yourself, communicate your faith, communicate your belief. And this is the permissive attitude. When you start to fool yourself and be real, then people will come to you. I want to drink. I'm thirsty. Come, help me. And then you will be able to extend yourself. So this permissive attitude is an important thing for everyone. And a leader will not be able to drop it. So communication skill you need to get. You need to study. Be real. Be yourself. Take away the frame. Because framing yourself is something good for a very short while. Take off the mask. This is people who fail to do that, simply they will stay in this point. The achievements here, what are the achievements that you want to achieve? Because every person needs to have a strategic plan. And what is this strategic plan? I feel like we all wanted to. Shall I just take away this? A strategic plan here for achievements. Any ministry, person, company, anyone, without a vision and a mission statement, no, I'm sorry, they will just go here and there and they will be like this group here. They are open and liberal. They are having too many directions in life. And then they are not actually anything. There's activities, running the whole day, lots of activities, but there is no direction. Then whatever you do will stay the same. But any rigidity will lead to death. This is conservative and rigid, they are death. And this is someone who invented something new and then he becomes rigid in it, so it's rigidity. So any kind of rigidity is death. But for the people of God to achieve, you need to have, number one, put a vision. And to explain to you what's a vision is. Did you have your vision written? You have your vision written in one place? I tell you about myself. I have my vision written clear in my personal room. And I tell you something, whenever I'm traveling, I have a small card like this. I wrote in it my vision and my mission statements. And every night, I put it just next to me to look at. I don't want myself, under any circumstances, to forget it. So to explain to you, what is your vision, for example? If someone is talking about vision, what is this vision that we're talking about? What's the vision?
Where you see yourself or your position or your results in the future. I mean, where are you headed toward and what's your purpose?
So after you finish with your results, what would you do?
After you finish with your results?
Yeah. Now I wanted to have this, and then I would achieve something, and then after these achievements, what would I do?
To reach your goals.
Huh?
To reach your goals.
So when I reached my goals,
It's a big idea, a big goal.
so this is our mistake. We think that the goal are the vision. No.
So if my MO is to serve God, and that's a pretty broad task. It's never ending, basically.
Yes.
So wouldn't that be considered liberal and open?
Yes. Could be.
So then how would I focus it? Well, how is broad? I don't know how to phrase the question.
Yeah.
If your goal is to serve God, then your vision is paradise, because that's where you're going to end up. That's the final state. And the vision is the final state, where after you've achieved your goal.
Could be. I tell you, may I put that on myself, so you will see what I would do. just an example. And maybe you, by this example, you could know how to create one for yourself.
The vision, can I change? Will it change over time? Or I have to put one vision for the whole of my life?
I think the vision is not changeable. The vision is much more than what we think. So let me explain to you. I wrote my vision when I was young, and I didn't know that this is a vision. I didn't know that this is what I wanted to do all my life. I wrote it in some just like pouring myself on my papers, and I didn't know that I'm writing the vision of my life. So to make a long story short, my vision is to lift people up. Just take it as an example. It's and I always say the bishop, or you can say a priest, or a deacon, or Sunday school teachers, is a hand from underneath to lift people up. So I saw my vision in life that I want to be the hands that I will just put it. I want to kneel and lift people up. So if I would write my vision, and I would say like lifting up, uplifting people. Then this is a small thing. It's one sentence. And I would say like, this would never end till the end of my life. Then I will just go and achieve something, and I'll find myself that I want to do it again. It's like you're breathing. As soon as you finish one cycle, then the other cycle will start. It's your heartbeat. As soon as you start, you finish one thing, and then the other one is coming. It's like the cycling attitude in it is very clear. So the vision is always there in your life. Then I start to say to myself, I need to write a mission statement. What is this mission statement? Then I felt like I want to put the missions that it will help the vision. It will fulfill the vision. So the first thing I said, education. So is education would lift up people? Then I do it. Then my mission became education. Then I would say, no, another mission I need to do. So do you think that when you have a support group, empower people, hold their hand, supporting them, do you think that this would lift up people? Yeah, that's okay. Then I put a mission of support. And then you start to say like, okay, what do you need as well to change what in their life? And I felt like I want to work for empowering the weak ones. So I would go in the society and I would see if the women are weak, then I would go and empower them. If a poor person is weak, I would go and empower this particular person. If whatever situation, then you would find yourself that you go, and this is your mission, empowering people. Empower the weak. And then you find yourself, whom are you going to do that? And I found myself, yes, I have a place in my heart, but still the whole world is my vision. Then I found myself that I'm putting a mission statement for myself. Then I want to put not only the vision and the mission, I want to put the goals. Then here I come and say, I want to build a retreat center, for example. And before I build a retreat center, I will sit with myself And I say, what do I want from this retreat center? And I say, oh, the retreat center, I wanted to, okay, it will help education, it will help empowering people. Okay, that meets with my mission. So does it help with my vision? It will help. Then I would say, okay, retreat. I finished the retreats, so what? Because I have another thing. Okay, I want to come to the States to, they are inviting me, for example, to come to the ECCYC or the OCCYC or the convention, the youth convention. And I said with myself, before I do it, and I would say to myself, now I'm going there. Does it meet with my vision or not? Then I would say like, oh, okay, it will uplift people. How? Yes, I will do education, I will do support, I will encourage. Then it meets then I will just drop it. And by this, everything you do as a leader, you will tell back to yourself and say, what is the achievements? But if the achievement is not meeting with your vision, mission, goal, then it doesn't work. And that's why I encourage every one of you, sit with yourself, write down your vision statement, write down your mission statement, write down your goals of achievements, write down your faith statements. And this is another thing. Coming back to the faith statements, I tell you, as a church in general, we have a faith statement. It's the creed. Truly we believe in one God the Father. But that's one thing. That's one level of it. This is the general church attitude. But it's still, what about you? Do you believe that God can protect you? Then in a deep affliction, in a deep danger, how do you feel? And if you need really something, and then you say like, maybe God forgot me. What's your own personal faith statements? Because these are the things that you will just. So I tell you, when I want to do a decision, you know what I do? I write papers, like A4 papers. And I write vision, and I put it in one plate. And then I write identity. I would write that to you here. I write vision, identity, and then I would write belief system. You know why I mean with that? And I would go to the first thing and I would say, this is my vision in life. I would say it. And here I want to decide. And I would take this decision that I wanted to make and I would say, how that meets with my vision. If it meets with it, I move to another step and I say, what's my identity? This meets with my identity or not? And I will stay there. And if it meets with my identity, I will move another step about my belief system. Does it meet with my belief system? With the moral beliefs, with the self-image belief, with the dogma belief? And if it meets, then I see its effect in the society. And I would go another. What does it affect the society? How that affects the society? And if it's so, then I would do it. If it meets with all. If it doesn't, I return back. Where actually it is missing? Is it missing my vision? I would never do anything that it doesn't meet with my vision. Even if it's the best project in the world. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter for me if it's the best project in the world, and but it's not my vision. And that means that every one of you have to have a vision. And that means this achievement stuff that we were talking about it yesterday, it is subjective, not only to finishing up a project. This is not finishing up a project. This is much more than a project. This is your own personal life. And that means that you will go up another one. It's the human development thing. We come to a human development. Every person is valuable. Every person is part of your vision. Whatever vision, you name it. Whatever vision, you name it. You know why? If you have a right vision, then all visions will lead to each other, simply because of what? You know, when God wanted to create us, He created us with a vision. He had a vision for us. He wanted to, if you read in the book of Genesis, the first chapter, chapter 1, verse 26, you say like this, then God, He said, let us make man on our image and likeness, so they will rule over and continue. But then in verse 27, He said, then God made man on His image. Full stop. Where is the likeness? And then He continued. On the image of God He created them, man and a woman, and He blessed them. And I just was asking, God, you said you want to create us on your image and likeness. So when you created us, He created us on what? On the image only. So where is the likeness? The likeness is His vision for us. He wanted us to be like Him. He wanted us to behave like Him, to think like Him, to feel His feelings. He wanted us to be His. And that's why He has a vision for us. And the beauty of a human being is to understand the vision of God for himself, and then you will put with God your vision. So if I would just say, my vision is lifting up people, then I'm working with God. So this is exactly the vision of God. God wanted you to be lifted up. And that means that the focus of ministry, the focus of people, the focus of any leader is a human being, is a person. It is not a big achievement like we were saying. And that's why the beauty of the discipleship of Christ is continuous till now. He trained 12 persons. He trained 70. But they are the one who carried this, and they trained others, and the others trained others, and the others trained others. And this is the beauty, because it's the concept of empowerment is within us. They were able to put in every person they trained the vision of empowering people, lifting up people. And that's why it's an important thing. I tell you how that will give you joy. Nothing, I tell you, nothing will give you more joy than helping a person to be transformed. It's nothing like it. You can enjoy yourself with whatever thing. You can just go to whatever resorts and all the fancy stuff and all whatever. You can just make the most beautiful parties in the world. It would never give you joy. Like just one little thing. I tell you an experience that we are enjoying it. Back in Egypt, we're running a course of empowering women. And I tell you how this it's giving me joy. It's very beautiful. Like we saw, like women in Egypt are very marginalized, very much oppressed, and different levels. Just say like whatever they are dealt with in an unfair way from the beginning of their life. Of course, there are different levels of education, different level of economical situation, different families. But in general, we talk the general attitude. We take the exceptions away, but the general attitude of in Egypt, for example, is they are not fair with women. In inheritance, how they deal with, in the very first welcome to the world, they see like if she's a woman, if she's a girl, okay. God bless the parents. God help them. If it's a boy, everybody's happy. And that's unfair. That's unfair from the beginning of this. And I felt like these are the people that I want to help. These are the people that they are marginalized. And that means that they're always a priority for a boy than a girl. In education, the only thing that the girl would have a priority in is marriage, because maybe they want to get rid of her. Whatever it is. Then we started to do this program, we called it Axeya. Axeya means worthy, like we say to St. Maria. That because the name here, it has a meaning, and I told them, please do this because it will give them a feeling of being worthy. You're worthy. We are not dealing with you because of charity. This is an important thing. You need to move from the concept of charity to the concept of development. And this is an important thing, transforming the life of a person. Then we gather some of these young ladies, and we take them to Anaphora, the retreat center that we have in Egypt, and then we give them education. And this education is not only education, it's training for life. We give them all these facilities of being a human being and lifting them up to the level of that they are able to create. And then we do an income generating project for them at the end of the day. And that means you take one person from that level, lifting them up in their inner being, and take them up and work with them to develop their skills and develop their inner being, and help them and support them in the society, and then send them to their village with a coach, a supporting coach. But the people who are training them, the beauty of it, they look at it from a concept of social justice. Not only it's a charity and development, and we are working for development, it's never. So the only thing that will help them, that they will feel that it's a social justice, not only a charity. It's very easy to give a charity, but it's not easy to work for social justice. And social justice here means that you need to give them the feeling of equality. Once they feel equal, they're supported. This is exactly as important. Are we able just to go and be there with them? Are we able to go and live the same way that they live? And eat the same things that they are eating? Why I should do this and not do that? What gives me the privilege? And here it's an important thing that the leader that is not working on social justice is lacking the inner empowerment of people. It's good to say whatever thing. If you don't do it, then it has no meaning. If I talk now, the most beautiful things, and in my personal life, I'm not doing it, it's nothing. So that's an important thing, is social justice and empowerment of people. Move from the charity to the development, and from development to social justice. And that means you are able to empower people around you. You can do that with your Sunday school students. How are we seeing them? Are we seeing them in a respectful way? Are we sitting with them and respect their ideas or not? There was a story, the children's story I love. I think I said it several times. And this story, it's always coming back to me personally. It's the story of the turtle and the two ducks. You don't remember that. I'll tell you this story. It's a turtle and two ducks. The turtle was, it's a big stone around her. It's big. she's walking very slowly. And then she made a friendship with two ducks. The ducks, of course, they can fly. They fly wherever they want. And they just come back to the turtle, talk with her a little bit. And then a flood is coming. And then, because it's raining and raining and raining, it's slippery. And then the turtle was just been taken by the water to a small ditch. So she started to call for help. Help! The ducks can fly, so they start to come in to the ditch and say, like, we can't help you. What can we do with you? You don't have wings. And the ducks was very much sympathized with the turtle. But sympathy alone doesn't work. You can't save a person only because you are sympathizing with them. Simply. Then the ducks were sad, they were crying, they were not happy to see their friend dying, but they were convinced because she doesn't have wings, she would die. This is where she is. This is how she is. But the turtle herself decided, no, I will not die, and I will search for a solution. She started to search and search and search, and then she found a great idea. And the idea was, she found the branch of a tree, and then she got the idea, yes, I will bite the middle of the branch. And I will ask one duck to come and hold from here, and the other duck would hold from the other side. And then fly. The ducks are flying, and the turtle is hanging herself in the middle with a branch. It's a beautiful idea. Then the turtle could fly. It's beautiful, isn't it? But the story is not ended. I always like to end it this way, but actually I have to be fair to the story. It's a beautiful scenery, and then a peasant, a villager, looked up and he saw this beautiful thing. What a great idea is that. Whose idea was that? The turtle heard it. And she was really happy and said, it's my idea. And then she fell. And she died. I always start with it and say, who saved the turtle and who killed the turtle? Not exactly. Who saved the turtle? It's not only her. Not only the ducks. Everything was serving. Everything. The ducks played a role. The branch played a role. The perseverance, the idea of the turtle played a role. Never look down to an idea that came from the turtle that has no wings. Most of the time we look to the beautiful wings, the power of flying. But I want to tell you, the turtle that she is in a ditch, the marginalized ones, those who have no power, they have the most beautiful ideas. If we are able to listen to them, we will be able to utilize our wings with them, with their idea to be lifted up. And that's why I say, we can't empower people without the concept of social justice. That's an important thing for every one of us. If you want to work with Sunday school, you need to work from inside with respect to their ideas, to the feelings of the kids, to the ideas of the kids. Lift them up. If you want to work on empowering other people, the marginalized ones, the poor ones, you need to respect their feelings. You need to look at them and lift them up. And this is an important thing. The last thing I wanted to say, a leader needs to work in the investment of others. Investment. We all teach our people to put in an investment in the society for economy. But Jesus did an investment in his people. And we need to do that. A leader who is not investing in the training of his people is actually lacking the biggest portion of his ministry. We serve a lot and we are investing a lot in the shape, for example, in how we look like, what kind of chairs we have, what kind of buildings we have, what kind of parties we have, what kinds of celebrations we have, what kind of new projects we have. But at the same time, how much do we spend on education? How much we spend on mission? How much we spend on training people? How much we are investing for people? How much we are serving as a community of giving a push for education, for even civil education, even normal professional education for our communities. And I feel like the amount of investment that you do in lifting up people, in the human resources, this is the thing that it will come back in the community. Not only the building will stay, it will serve. Nothing is less than the other. But I'm saying, like, sometimes we do this part and never do that. And I'm trying to say here, like, give a percentage in all your life for education, because this is an important thing to invest in people. The human resources here is one of the most important things for the ministry. So to be a leader is not an easy thing, but to be a leader is an important thing, and to be a leader is a necessity in your life, because then you need to make decisions. Then you need to influence others. You need to be an example. That's why, at the end of the day, a leader is an example, who is leading by example, not leading by just words. And the most beautiful thing that I always wanted to give to the people, you are a hand. I say this to myself. You are a hand from underneath to lift people up. Always see yourself like this. You will never, never be able to be a hand from above. You can be a hand from above, but you will never call yourself a leader. If you are a leader, you're a hand from underneath to lift people up. You can't always pull people to bring them up. Did you see someone who wanted to lift a child? You always wanted to go down and lift. You just can't just tell him to come and pull him like this. It doesn't work. You just will break him. So always think of this. You are a person who wanted to lift people up. A leader is someone to lift people up. If you think this way, then I think this is leadership. This is a real life. I can stop here, and if you want to ask any questions, I'm ready for that. Yes.
I have two questions. The first one, kneeling down to lift people up. Is this a vision or mission statement? That's number one.
For me, it's a vision.
Because in my understanding, the mission statement is something that goals I set it up, that's what I'm understanding. And I have the means to achieve it.
Yes? You can put the vision the way you want. Put whatever you want for yourself. But you put it for yourself. And you stick to it and work on it. You can just change. This is, I said, this is my own personal. You can change it and write down here whatever thing. And then put how you would do it. For example, the mission is the purpose. Why? And the mission is how? And the goal is what?
The second question, now while doing our mission statement and vision and achieving our goals, we always facing challenges.
Definitely.
For instance, let's say not apply to the United States, but it's strongly applied to Egypt when we see the state opposing our everything. So how can we achieve all our goals among all these challenges? And to what extent this will affect our leadership?
I will go back to the story of the turtle. Can a turtle fly? But it flies. It can fly because the first thing then the turtle herself needs to be creative in how to find solutions for her problem. And the second is she needs as well to utilize what's at hand, the branch what was there. And if someone from an outside will look at it and say like, what's a branch that can help in this situation? But the branch was so important. And the third thing, we always need good communication, how to empower others to be involved and to be wings for the wingless. So the turtle needed wings. She doesn't have the wings, but the wings could be the communication, the other friends that they are coming. So no one can work by himself or herself. And this is also something, part of the characters of the good leader, that never work by yourself. No one can work by himself. So the concept of delegation, this is also something else that we need to learn. It's a delegation. It's a community, a teamwork, empowering the others around you, the inner circle. All these are factors that needs to be discussed. We don't have much time for that. But anyway, the challenges is strengthening the leaders, because then you are able to invent. The human ability to create is still active in every person, not only in the very high intelligent people. In every person, there is the power of creativity in there. All what we need is just to create the atmosphere that it will come out. The turtle is still a good example. I love it. Yes.
Again, like in a two-part question.
Yes.
First part is, as you go throughout your life and you're giving yourself a directive, a direction, a vision. You said you yourself, you wrote a couple, but you realized later that this was your vision.
Yes.
How, I'm guessing in a more generic way, how would I be able to go through the things that I've done, or the things that I felt have touched me and driven me before, and then go back to them and decide which one that I like this is it. Like you said, this was the one, uplifting people, that was yours, and you knew it. What criteria did you establish for yourself to
For me,
yeah.
I looked at the things that it makes me happy. I asked myself one question. What is the most happy moment in my life? And when I looked at it, that I felt like when I see someone is growing up and succeeding, and the day of achievement for this person, it makes me cry of joy. So I felt that this is what actually makes me happy. When I see just someone was just neglected and no one looks at this person. And then suddenly someone will take this person and then recognize it, and there is a success for this person. It makes me happy. So I felt like you search in yourself and see what is the most happy moments in your life. And then you see the opportunities that God is giving you. In our life, there are many opportunities. And you sit with yourself and write down all the opportunities that God has blessed you with. The third thing that you would put with yourself as well, what are the gifts that God has given you. For example, you know computer, you know how to communicate with people, you know and then this is your gifts. You know how to speak, you know how to run this or that. And then you see yourself as well, what is the opportunities? Then you see your Sunday school teacher, this is an opportunity for you. You know this group of people, this is an opportunity for you. You know these persons here and there, you know this company, this is an opportunity for you. And then you sit with yourself and you see what's in this life that I can utilize the gifts of God to me and the opportunities that God has given me, and what's in this life that makes me really happy, and also it will be laid on the great vision that God is giving me. So I put the three together and I wrote the vision of God for us. It's stated, God wanted us to be like Him. He could give me His image and He wants me to be His likeness. So I put this and I saw what is in these three that I can gather and form, and then I put it on the vision of God to me and it fits. And to me I found lifting people is gathering the three. Then I found myself, I said, this is what makes me happy. Then I feel I want to make myself happy every day. Then whenever I see something like this, I'm happy. Then I want to give myself this joy. And second, I feel like God has given me a gift. I can communicate with people. I can give a speech. I can educate someone. Then it's there. And then I felt like, okay, then God gave me an opportunity that I can just reach out to these people in this village, or I have a place to educate them, or I have the, then it becomes like all together. Then you start to put this vision. And when you wrote it down and you could see like, yes, focus more and more, sharpening it every day, then it becomes clear for you.
One more question. Sure. The difference between empowering others, maybe I should say it to you. There's a challenge, I think, as a leader to empower versus impose.
Yes, definitely.
So, can you maybe draw a distinction for us? And also, what is it required from the leader to empower others?
Impose here that it's not empowerment. Like, you know, there is the empowerment that you bring this person to generate power from within. Like, for example, there is this story of the saying of the Chinese that don't give me a fish, but give me, teach me. Okay. So I always say, like, empowerment is not this or that. I always tell people like this. I will not give you fish, and I will not teach you how to fish. This is crazy, isn't it? Because people then would look at themselves, if I give you a fish, then I'm teaching you to be lazy. Then this is not empowerment. But then the other side, I teach you, then I impose in you. This is my way. And you have to do it this way. The other side of it is what? Inside every human being, there is a beautiful creativity. God has given us some characters inside, the image of God in us, that we are creative. We have the ability to learn. We have the ability as well to accomplish and have the self-fulfillment. Then what I do actually is to encourage the inner power inside the person and respect their own way of creativity. And what I need only just to guide them. If you do it this way, maybe you will learn it much more. For example, if I want to learn something in the computer, then you can come and tell me, you do it this way and this way. And then after 2 days or 1 day, I will forget them. Definitely I will forget them. But if I want something, then I would come to you and say, would you teach me how to do this? Then I have power in me. I want to do it, and please show me a better way. Then you will tell me, then I will get it right away. Then our responsibility is to encourage them and give them the atmosphere that they will grow in. Not just imposing my way. Sometimes imposing my way, making them much more weaker, because then the creativity concept in them is lost. Most of the time, strong leaders leave behind them very weak group, because they are imposing, and then at the end of the day, the people will say like, we never learned how to do it. They were not able to create. But a real leader, a real strong leader would leave behind them very strong people that they are able to create, and they are working, and because they are used to doing that. Yes.
Like you said, there are different characteristics. What if you're not really social? What if you're not a social type person?
Then you find for yourself what gets you. There are many people who are not social, but they are very good in other things. See the good things that you are good at, and then work for it. In life, we have big varieties of things that we need to do. You could just be clever in studying, writing, researching. You could be clever in one-to-one person, empowering one-to-one person. There are many things that we can work on together. Yes.
I guess this is more of a question of your opinion. So going back to Abuna, between empowering and imposing, when you have and you're teaching someone else, or say you're learning with someone else, and you give them the option to do it the way that you know works, or to go search on their own and allow them to make a mistake. It's a question of time versus accomplishment sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Getting it done and giving them the time they want to make the mistake and find their own way, or getting it done within a certain time and just moving on.
Yeah.
How do you make the decision on when to?
Yes, I think this is the most important thing, is to encourage them to want.
To go around
To want, to need to learn. And this is the difference here.
So,
Because, for example, if you want to teach me, and I don't want this teaching, but you're telling me this will be good for you. This is the one level of impose. But the better way is that you go with me and train me and educate me to want these things. And when you teach me this, then I would want it. Take an example. Imagine if you are one of these people who were in Egypt at the time of Moses. They were suffering. They were living in a very sad conditions. They were persecuted. But they didn't have the want to change. So when Moses came, sent by God to them, and he told them that the Lord wants you to come and worship him, and he wanted to deliver you, and he gave them the most beautiful thing. But what was their reaction?
Take us back.
They refused in the beginning, and they say, you spoiled our image with the Pharaoh. Go, we don't want you. But then God has made a beautiful, I don't know, can I call it tactic or what? But it is. He told Moses, tell them this. The Lord wants to take you to the land of milk and honey. So what is the milk and honey here? It acts in a very beautiful way. It was given to the people to put an image to where they're going. And that itself, it created an idea in them. It created a feeling of, we want to go to this land. So this is exactly what we want to do. And then after that, he told them, do this and don't do that, and make it this way. But in the beginning, you need to create in them a feeling of want. I want to do this.
Dying to ask one more question, but it's related to the example,
Okay,
but it's
please, go
off
ahead.
topic.
Go
So
ahead.
the motivation. I know this is like a whole separate discussion.
Yeah.
If you want to condense
Yes,
it.
yes, yes. Okay.
Now, how do you motivate someone? The only way I know how to motivate someone is to first do it myself and see who wants to do it with me. Is there any other way to motivate someone?
Put an image, like Moses did,
Like
with
Canaan?
the people. Give them a taste of it. You know, these people of this addiction.
Mhm.
They just give you a taste of it first,
Mhm.
and then you're learning how to do it. It's a bad way, but still it works.
Okay.
And the third thing, that be there for them, because motivation is when you are there as well. There meaning whenever they need you, you will be there. And that makes them feel secured, because sometimes we need to have the security with the motivation. So being there is a security, because sometimes people are afraid to take steps of their own because of the fear, because of the insecurity. Not everyone in the world have the guts to take initiatives and to take risks. There are certain people that they can do that, but the other people, they are not able. So being with them, being there for them, not pushing, just being there, it will help the person to be secured, and then they will dare to take a step, to try. Oh, yeah.
If I could suggest, there are a number of people that have long drives home now, but I know a few people that would like to sit around with your face and maybe just speak
Yeah.
your brain a little bit
So
more.
maybe it's better that we end now,
Maybe
and
take a
then
small break.
those who wanted later, they could continue. Okay?
We still have a lot of coffee and juice for the people that can eat.
So let's say the Lord's Prayer together, and then thank you, Lord. We ask you, Lord, to bless us.